this video, we break down the chances for severe weather in your area. Do we finally have a tropical storm forming in the Atlantic? I'll also be breaking down the 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlook, as well as the excessive rainfall and drought monitor. I'll also be looking at your near-term forecast. All that coming up in this video. Hi y'all, welcome back to Williams Weather. Looks like the Storm Protection Center has issued a marginal risk for Sunday, August 7th, with your main risks being a damaging wind threat, with a low-end tornado and hail threat, which can't be ruled out, as well as some supercells that pop up. Now your day 3 outlook for Monday, not much as far as severe weather goes, like not much happening. Just some general thunderstorms affecting parts of Oregon and southwest parts of Washington, affecting states from Southern California all the way up into Massachusetts. Now your day 4 to 8 outlook, like pretty quiet. But as far as your flooding threats go, that's a different story. There is a moderate risk for excessive rainfall for southern Wisconsin and a slight risk affecting central parts of Wisconsin, eastern parts of Iowa, northern Illinois, central half of Colorado, northern New Mexico, and southern Arizona, with states in the green under a marginal threat for excessive rainfall. Looks like eastern Kentucky's under that threat as well. That's not good. Looks like your day 3 excessive rainfall outlook looks like there's a slight risk again for northern New Mexico and southern Colorado, with the states in the northeast also under it, over here in the yellow, with states in the green under a marginal threat, with eastern Kentucky affected again. That's not good. That's terrible, guys. Now let's look at your drought monitor to see who will get a relief at all from it. Looks like the desert southwest is under a extreme drought. Looks like actually much of the country's under a drought actually, except for parts of the Midwest, and Texas is getting affected by drought as well. Northeast part of the country is getting affected, but there is some relief from the drought out here in Arizona and Utah. The slight risks for excessive rainfall issued out there, parts of Southern California, but it's like there's hardly no relief for areas that really need it the most. Texas, y'all are going to be dry for a long time. But we'll break down some weather models later in this video to see if any of these places will get any rain. Now we'll go take a look at your 6 to 10 day precipitation and temperature outlook. Looks like their next 6 to 10 days, as far as temperatures go, looks like we'll have a cool off finally for the eastern part of the United States in the blue. Florida looks like it's going to be above average for the next 6 to 10 days. Like central part of the United States is going to be above average. The desert southwest, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Southern California, it's going to be below average. It's going to be nice for y'all. Out west, far west, it's going to be hot again. Next 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Looks like the southwest is going to cool off again. It's going to be a nice place to be. But looks like much of the country is going to be above average for the next 8 to 14 days. As far as precipitation goes, looks like part of the country, looks like it's going to be a divide in the country. Like out west is going to be above average as far as precip, but out east and the plains looks like it's going to be abnormally dry out here. Next 8 to 14 days, just about the same. Looks like there will be some relief out west though, in the southwest for y'all. All right, let's break down some weather models here, starting off at 9 o'clock. Looks like storms are already getting fired up just west of Tucson, dumping lots of heavy rain. Mainly, this is just a damaging wind event, so keep that in mind, but anything can happen. There's been some marginal risks where there's been lots of tornado warnings and storms have dumped some pretty big hail, Donkey Kong size in nature, knowing that these storms can be cellular. So please be weather aware, keep those weather radios charged up, keep the batteries fresh in them. Know where to go when severe weather strikes. Flash flooding's another threat as well. So please, if you're driving a car, turn around, don't drown. If you're in a flood-prone area, please seek higher ground. Well, we know what happened in eastern Kentucky and Missouri and lots of states that got affected by the flooding. Please be aware of flooding, because that is very dangerous to deal with. I'll push us off into 1 o'clock. More rain, so mainly just a flooding event. It is monsoon season, so it's to be expected. Now we go look over here in the Midwest, see why the moderate risk is issued by the Weather Protection Center. Starting at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's like lots of heavy rain. Over here in eastern Iowa, some really, really heavy rain. It's like possibly an inch per hour rainfall, possibly. Flash flood warnings may be issued with these, so please be aware of that. Looks like northwest of Indiana, lots of rain. Now keep in mind the moderate risk for excessive rainfall is right here, but there is a slight risk surrounding it. We push this forward, we see heavy rain. We see heavy rain sweeping southeast. As we see, look, right here. Like rain just training over the same area over and over and over. And eastern Kentucky's gonna be getting more rain from this, so that is not good. Let's take a look at your total precipitation. We look into Sunday night. Moderate risk is issued for Sunday. I mean, we could see up to 6 inches of total rainfall from this system. Even more over here in Iowa. Over 11 inches right there. 14 inches of rainfall near Des Moines, Iowa. Or no, central Iowa. 14 inches in central Iowa by 11 o'clock on Saturday. Good grief, y'all. Lots of rain from this system. Over the same area. Like, good grief. Now let's go take a look at your tropical storms down here. Tropics to see what is out there. Looks like starting off in the eastern Pacific. Looks like we already have Tropical Depression 9-E. So far, it's been a pretty active season out here in the Eastern Pacific, surprisingly. Wind speeds at 35 mile an hour, max gusts of 45. Now, this is what's possibly causing all the rain out here in the desert southwest, is all these tropical storms forming out here. Now, let's go take a look at your Atlantic, the main development region. Looks like we have a 30% chance within the next 5 days. Now, as soon as this hair and dust moves north and the wind shear starts to go away, that's when I expect hurricane season to start ramping up. It's going to be a pretty strong hurricane season due to the La Nina, which means cold waters out here in the Pacific Ocean. Out here in this area right here, where my arrow's at, that's where we determine whether is La Nina or El Nino. Take a look at surface temperatures. As you can see here, temperatures are about 30 degrees Celsius. That's really, really hot water. As I was talking about with the La Nina, this is where we determine whether it's La Nina or El Nino. As you can tell, it's a pretty stagnant La Nina year. It means cool waters out here. Any tropical storms start developing out here, my arrow's at, and start feeding off this warm water, and it could start getting some strong hurricanes. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but please be aware that it could have a strong hurricane season this year. Now, it's been quiet, and there have been a lot out here in the Eastern Pacific, but historically, when bad hurricane seasons happen, it's usually late in the season, so please be aware of that moving forward. Now let's go start breaking down some near-term models to see what we could expect in the short-term models. We're gonna take a look at the jet stream real quick. Now, looks like there's a little trough here, a ridging. Looks like a potent low pressure system out here in the Pacific. That could be pretty interesting as we get towards the middle of the month. Looks like that's hitting off the coasts of California, Oregon, and Washington, heading into California, so that could play a role in some severe weather later this month. But, this is still ways out. Anything can change, anything can happen. As we see the jet stream getting more fired up right here. Now this is towards the end of the month, so that's really way out. So let's take a look at your 500 millibar jet stream height anomalies. This determines, again, the blue determines severe weather or any storms happening, and the red determines good weather. Basically just the red's high pressure and the blue's basically low pressure in layman's terms. As we see, looks like for a while, looks like it's going to be pretty quiet. Severe clear to middle of the month right there, or on the 11th there, more severe weather, and that could play a role later this month. Yeah, right around the 20th, so please stay tuned for that. I'm predicting the beginning of the month's not going to be as severe, but I'm predicting by the middle of the month it's going to be pretty active, because we are expecting a cool off next 6 to 14 days for the Midwest, and once there's some heating that occurs, meeting with the cool air, that could really, it's ingredients for severe weather. Now let's take a look at your positive reflectivity, what the radar could possibly look like into the future. Starting off on Sunday around 9Z, 6Z, that's 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Like some heavy rain in this moderate risk area for excessive rainfall. Out here in the plains, some more rain. As far as stays dry out here in the east, the west, push that forward. Remember, as I was saying, there's supposed to be some severe weather by the end of the month. Looks like we do have some strong storms over here in northern Indiana by the 18th, around the 18th of the month. Looks like the end of the month looks like it's going to be pretty potent as far as severe weather goes. Now, this can change, so please stay tuned to Williams Weather. I will have updates for y'all on that. It's like down in the Dixie Alley, looks like some clusters of storms by the end of the month. Northeast part of the country, gonna get some well-needed rain. Out west, gonna get some well-needed rain by the end of the month, so that's really good. Texas getting some spotty showers. Looks like y'all gonna be pretty much left out. Well, that's not good. The drought's gonna get worse in Texas. Now let's take a look at your temperatures. Central part of the country on Saturday. That's the day. The day of filming this video. It's hot in the central part of the United States, hot in the eastern part, but we will have a relief out east. Starting off there, we're in the 70s, mid 80s. Pushes them forward here, hundreds and 80s. Pinks are hundreds, and it looks like no relief in the heat for a lot of the country, though. Some relief out there in the Midwest by Friday the 12th. 60s as lows, nighttime. Right around 9Z, that's 5 o'clock in the morning. Looks like 70s for your highs. For August, that's pretty good. but that could be fuel for them severe storms though later on. Because if it's cool in August and it gets hot later on, brings a warm front through, brings hot temperatures, and then it cools off again, and some severe weather could be knocking on your door by the middle of the month. Because cold air and hot air do not like each other. And that's all I have for y'all today. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing. And until next time, never stop forecasting.